Okay. Let's make sure that all of this is on. I think it is. The Instagram feed's going to happen in 2 seconds.
Sick.
This is what I'm calling season 1. It's sort of the me learning how to do everything part.
Cool.
Then I'll have everybody back on to do it.
Sweet.
For reals.
For realsies.
All right.
Not to be confused with the not for realsies part.
That's right. For fakesies.
For fakesies.
This is the for fakesies, actually.
This is the for fakesies
Yeah.
Season 1 for fakesies.
All right, and I see you, and
Cool.
I think a moment ago I saw me. That's great.
Yeah.
I guess we have to watch ourselves the whole time.
That's a little awkward.
It is,
Just
yeah.
a little bit.
I mean, I guess I could just check in.
I suppose there are worse things to watch.
If anything crazy happens behind us, we'll know.
There we go, exactly.
Yeah.
After it happens, I guess, though.
A few seconds, yeah. We'll be in danger
later.
for some window.
Yeah.
Sorry,
didn't mean to.
Totally unsuspecting. No, it's okay. That's the professional level of this production.
Correct.
I know this is all scripted right now.
Yes.
We went over it quite a bit, so thanks for interrupting me as written.
As written.
I'm Sam Irvin, and we are here on the Irvin Music Studio 8 to 10 Wednesday weekly live stream.
Cool.
Still workshopping a title.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions.
Great so far.
Okay,
I like it.
great.
I like it.
And I'm here with you, Philip. Which would you prefer?
Introduce myself as Phil. So.
Okay. Phil. And
Treutel.
Treutel.
Is the last name. It's German, and it trips everybody up, so don't feel bad.
I've
I've heard every iteration you can possibly think of. For instance, my parents, whenever they were living in Mississippi, like in the 90s, they were listed as Turtle, like in the phone book. Bill and Rita Turtle, which is really funny. So, but that is not how you say our last name.
Nice. Before autocorrect and everything.
Before autocorrect and everything.
Somebody just made a deliberate choice. Like,
I guess. Too much work. It looks too awkward. You know what I'm saying? So, but.
But Treutel is sort of perfect for this situation. Where this is like a talk show interview sort of thing. Hopefully you tell truth to me.
I don't have anything to lie about that I can think of.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see, I guess.
I'm about to hit you with some gotchas.
Yeah, gotcha.
I, first of all, want to check the sound.
Cool.
So let's make sure that we're actually coming through. Tell truth to me.
Silky
smooth.
There it is.
Oh
Excellent.
my gosh. That is music to my ears.
Yeah, perfect.
But later there will be actual music to our ears. When we jam, you're a drummer.
That is correct. By trade.
Oh yes, good.
Yes.
So you exchange things for your drumming.
Yes.
That's good. Or things are exchanged with you.
Yeah, exactly. Usually in the forms of dollar bills, generally speaking. Yeah.
Nice. Just showered on you while you're doing the.
But no, yeah, I've been playing drums now for, God, I am 27, so about 15 years now.
Okay.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Anytime, like
more than half of your life.
Yeah, literally. Yes, exactly. Which
You're
is
more the drummer than not drummer.
Than a person, basically. So no,
Right.
I'm just kidding. But no, it's really cool. Like, it was just I got into music like when I was like probably 10 or 11. My parents always had like a lot of stuff like jamming around the house. Like, so like people always ask like what your influences are or whatever, like, or what kind of music did you listen to growing up? And I had like a really wide.
That was coming. I had questions.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. I'll go ahead and preemptively answer that one.
Appreciate it.
So you could. So I had like a really wide array of like what my folks like would listen to like in the house all the time. So like my dad is a big guitar player, and so like growing up he listened to like whenever he was like first learning to play guitar, he wanted to learn how to play guitar like Ace Frehley from Kiss, and so like lots of rock and blues records like in the house. So like some of the first like records that I remember like listening to on vinyl that were like his were like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas Flood, the Kiss Alive album from 70, I don't remember the specific year, but I loved that record. There's some of the like big hits are on that one.
Like that 70s show theme song?
I don't think that 70s Show theme song is on the Kiss Alive album from the 1970s. I wish it were, but how serendipitous would that be? But I don't think that it is.
I thought that it was a Kiss song.
What is it really?
I believe so.
This is like completely news to
random.
me. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really funny, actually. I did not know that. I'm not well versed in that 70s show culture. Trivia.
I don't know. I haven't gone back and watched it in a long time. It could be hugely problematic.
A lot of stuff from the early 2000s were like kind of didn't really age that well. So,
sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's all good. And then one of the main ones that I was like really specifically remember was 2112 by Rush, and just some of the like the best rock drumming of all time. You know what I'm saying? And so like listening to Neil Peart's like Peart, however you want to say it. Rest in peace.
Like the shampoo.
Yeah.
Right. R.I.P. Not like the shampoo. I don't think the shampoo's dead. That's not.
I get where you were going. They're
homophones.
There you go.
Perhaps.
Yeah. But anyway, so like yeah, man, that's one of the best like I said like best rock drumming albums of all time in my opinion. And that was like one of the first things that I like really listened to. That I was just like, yeah, man, like this is cool. And so that was like some of like my dad's influence, and then my mom was like really into like 90s like alt and pop rock. So like on the one hand you have like all of this like really loud, aggressive, like virtuosic like kind of stuff like that you listen to in Rush, but then also like my mom was like really into like Matchbox 20 and like the Spin Doctors and Blues Traveler and stuff like that. So like
Eve 6.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I have this like super wide array of like music that I was like always listening to like growing up. And then like once I like really started playing drums.
Did they meet at a Jane's Addiction concert?
I don't
feel like that's right in between.
No, I don't think so. They met at like some sort of like they were in college and they met at some form of church youth function or something or other that my mom's friend dragged her to, and my dad was also there. But then like my mom and dad like got really close to one another like while she was going to like his band's shows in college, because he had a band in college that he played in, and she would like go to shows and stuff like that. So that's how
like
they got
to rock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they because he's a really good blues guitar player. Some of the Shibuya guys will like tell this really funny story. One time he came up and visited me here while I was living here, and at the time Shibuya was running a funk jam on Thursday nights at One World Brewing West in West Asheville, and he came in and sat in on guitar for like a couple of songs, and I was like, I'm telling you guys, like he's very good. You will be surprised. And they were like, okay, it's your dad, like you're a little bit biased. And no, he sure enough like came in and just shredded, and they were just like, okay, we believe you now. So yeah, he's
nice.
Very, very much like a blues shredder. He's got mad chops for sure. But yeah,
you brought up Shibuya,
yes,
which is a band that you play in.
Correct. Oh, I forgot to preface that. Completely forgot to preface that.
Let's back up a moment,
yeah,
and just say, because I like to just say how I met each.
Sure.
guest,
Yeah. Totally.
We know each other for a very short. We have known each other for a very short period of time. We met at T.J. Mills's apartment while he was hosting that other band, Boat Command's Livestream.
Whose drum set player, Hinton Edgerton, is the bass player for my band. Shibuya.
Yes. Okay, gotcha.
And also, Caleb McMahon, trombone player, is my roommate.
Okay, so you're in.
I had multiple vested parties there. Yeah.
Gotcha. I really only knew TJ.
Okay.
I think he was literally the only person that I knew there from my time at Moog, and then he was on my live stream and knew that I wanted to learn more about live streaming.
Yeah, totally.
That was far and above.
Right.
They had like actual camera guys and somebody on a switchboard like switching between them. That was a pretty big production. But then since then I ran into you at the Jazz Jam at Archetype on a Thursday that's hosted by Bill Bears. And I heard you play around a little bit, and that was really great.
Yeah, that's fun stuff.
I was like, oh, yeah.
So that's so Shibuya is like kind of the main project that I've been most like readily involved with over the past couple years.
Which is funk.
Correct. Yeah, it's like a funk soul like kind of project. So like we describe it as like if Earth, Wind and Fire and like Jamiroquai like had a love child, like is kind of like what it feels like. And so that has been an ongoing project since like 2017. I joined the band in October of 2019, so I haven't been with it since it's like in its full perpetuity. But then also because of like with everything that happened in the pandemic, like right at the tail end of beginning of 2020. Beginning of 2020.
The tip of the nose.
The tip of the nose, yeah, exactly. Of 2020. We spent a lot of that time, writing the most recent record that came out, which came out, it will be a year on July 31st, I think. So it came out a year ago, basically. And
when everything was looking up.
Yeah, exactly.
During that summer, we were like, we're free.
Yeah, and then it was like, no, not quite so much, which I feel like it's getting crazy again right now. So I don't know how much of that we want to talk about, but yeah. I got sick actually a couple of weeks ago. So
same. So
yeah,
we're good.
Nice, excellent.
We're safe.
That was not fun. Don't recommend that for sure.
No. It really set me back a little bit. I had I had to miss 2 gigs.
Mm-hmm. So did I. I had to miss 2 gigs. So like the other
scramble for subs.
Yeah, exactly. The other band that I'm in, which is it's a hardcore metal band called Iron Sights. Mm-hmm. Hello.
Make sure that you're.
Oh, you're good. It's
you're actually on.
Yeah.
The live stream
it's a hardcore metal band called Iron Sights. Oh, you're good. And we had booked like a little weekender run that we were gonna go play like the opening, like the first day, like pre-show thing for a festival in Richmond, that we had to back out on, and then another gig in Charlotte that we had to back out on because I was sick and I was out, which is a major bummer. But we were able to get like some of that stuff like we used it like for like logistical purposes, and actually I had to miss like the first time that I was supposed to be here because because I was just like, oh man, I'm not gonna make it. So
that was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. So
the guy that I had 2 people cancel 2 weeks in a row, like within 5 minutes of each other. I don't think I told you about that. Yeah. But one of the guys that I had cover was a killer drummer, Edwin Miracle, who plays in Phantom X.
Yeah, that band? I've heard of that band. Yeah.
I'll
check them out.
They're dope. I like them.
Sweet.
And I did listen to that band before he was on. I really
cool.
Yes. But I had him on, and then my birthday was Saturday. I was going to go see his band play at the 27 Club, and they had to cancel.
Dang. Yeah.
COVID. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, it's just kind of the nature of the way that things are right now. Like, and my bandmates were like really, really chill about it, and they were just like, yeah, we were like looking forward to it or whatever, but it's like, it's not anything you can help. Yeah. So, ironically enough, where we think everything transpired, Shibutika played a gig in Boone, at the Boone Saloon, like a few weeks ago, and myself, our guitarist, and our trumpet player all got sick from that gig. From the same venue, we played there in January, and our bassist and keyboardist caught it there too.
Okay,
so the Boone Saloon is cursed. So like if you can
really throwing some
shade. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, the Boone Saloon like is it is a really interesting place to play, shall we? We'll leave it at that. Like, not to disparage. A little disparaging, but not too disparaging.
Like a dive bar, but when you dive and you accidentally hit the bottom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's cool. Like it's a hip college bar, you know. It's like a cool college bar, and that is one of the more fun rooms to play, like in the town of Boone for sure, because it's just like the sound setup is really nice, and they do have like an actual stage. It's not just like a corner. And it's not like a corner in a bar. So, but yeah. So
did you go to school for music?
Yes. So I did.
I saw some killer marching band photos.
Yes,
when I was searching for the one for the flyer.
Oh yeah. So so I did my first music degree at Jacksonville State University, which is in Alabama. It's about 45 minutes from the Georgia border, and I graduated from high school in like 2013. And then went straight through and did my general music degree from Jacksonville State. And then after that, I went to graduate school. I got a master's degree in percussion performance from Appalachian State, which is, so I like moved to Asheville by way of Boone because like I was there doing my master's degree.
Gotcha, that's right.
Yeah, and then
highly educated.
Yeah, and then I also did 2 summers of drum corps, which is like basically like professional marching band in layman's terms.
That's probably what those.
Yeah. That's okay. I was very tan, very thin because we were outside all the time. But yeah, I did 2 summers of marching drum corps with this group out of Iowa called the Colts. it was a lot of fun.
Wow. So you've got some chops.
That was all. So it was actually really interesting. So I was learning to do like the whole marching band thing, and like from like a rudimental chop perspective, I'm actually really not that awesome. Anybody that was like there at the time could be like, yeah, that dude sucks. As far as like playing like snare drum or like whatever. And so I was like, cool, whatever, like no big deal. And so I really started to like shift my focus into like doing like keyboard percussion and drum set stuff. And so like keyboards was where I kind of like keyboards isn't like xylophone, marimba, vibraphone kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so like I got really comfortable with those instruments, and I marched drum corps 2 seasons playing marimba.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
that's
so
cool.
yeah, so
do you have anything like that?
No, I wish. It would be
Get
cool.
A xylophone
it would be really cool because but you know, a practice marimba like that doesn't have like resonators on it is like $5,000, and to like get a really nice like 5-octave one is like closer to like $25,000. So like they're impossibly expensive if that's not your main like gigging instrument. So like Jason DeCristofaro, I don't know if you know him.
He runs those,
so he runs the Sunday jams. Super nice guy. Unbelievable percussionist, but like when I first moved to town and first met him, like I only ever saw him playing vibraphone. So of course it makes sense for him to own a vibraphone because that's what he's like. That he's playing jazz vibraphone gigs. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't play like any orchestral gigs anymore. Really, not particularly by choice, but kind of by choice. So haven't gone out for a sub audition in a long time, and so.
Those are a lot of. That's a huge commitment to a lot of rehearsals.
Yeah,
for any sort of orchestra
for sure.
or bigger band sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's like a like there goes all my Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. Set
for sure.
And
you know, it would be one thing if I wasn't like doing like a daytime like gig, that wasn't pertaining to music, but. I am so,
right.
But yeah, so
you
like
can't just fill up all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so
but do they have? So I'm thinking about like those drum pads, you know, that
mm-hmm.
you can incorporate like an electronic element into your drum set,
mm-hmm,
you know, with
sure.
the drum pad. But do they have like any marimba-sized ones that you could sort of?
They actually do, yes. They do actually. So like, there's a couple of different things that are out there. The big. Like, I don't know who was like the first one to come onto the market and do it, but like a big name for it was the Xylo synth, which is like is super cool. I saw Nate Worth play that with, or maybe it was his. Nate Worth is the percussion. Well, they're both percussionists. Nate Worth has a brother. Plays percussionist for Snarky Puppy. Has a brother. I think it's Nick Worth. I can't remember. But anyway, exactly. One of the first times I ever saw him play the Xylo synth, he was playing with Ghost Note, which is like this big collective now from, which is Sput from Snarky Puppy. Like it's like his project that started like a couple years ago. But I saw him play in like 2014 at oh man, I can't remember the name of the venue now, but it was in like this music hall in Birmingham, which was like super rad. That was really cool to see. So
it was better than the Boone Saloon.
Oh yeah, can confirm it was a lot better than the Boone Saloon.
Beat out the Boone Saloon.
Was
the Boone Saloon around when you were in Boone at App?
Yes. They went through.
Not to bring it back.
No. It's okay. They were around when I was at App, but after I left, if I remember correctly, with kind of how the timeline ran with everything, I have a terrible memory when it comes to like. How the sequence of events as far as like things happen. So like I remember this happened and I remember this happened, but I have no idea like how far apart those events were or what happened in between. You know what I'm saying?
I have a terrible memory. Period.
So
I get it.
So yeah, the Boone Saloon was there, but they underwent kind of a pretty nasty like ownership change. Or management change, one of the two, because there was
mutiny
some so there was like some really disparaging comments made that were like super misogynistic, if I remember, either like misogynistic or homophobic, that was like made like on behalf of like the whole bar, and everybody was like, yo, you can't do that and get away with it. And so like a lot of artists like boycotted and like weren't playing there for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, for a while. And then like recently, within the past couple of years, like they like either swapped over management or swapped over ownership, and like have like really made like a big massive point to be like, we're putting our foot down on like this kind of rhetoric, which was commendable, like, to like kind of make that pivot.
Address it.
Yeah, for
apologize.
Sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So it was there when I was in school, but I didn't go to very many shows there. When I was in school, the place to hang out was, oh God, I miss this bar so much. It was this place called Murphy's, that was colloquially known as Dirty Murph's, and it was like the best dive bar ever. It was so sick. The first show I ever saw when I moved to North Carolina was at Dirty Murph's, and it was the Travers Brothership, and they ripped it. It was so much fun. So much fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that band is great.
And it's cool too, because like those dudes are like still out and still playing. I saw them open for the Main Squeeze at the Asheville Music Hall like in December of 2019, like right before everything shut down. So and they're still out there and they're still doing it. So
I might have been at that show. I wonder.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Dude, the Main Squeeze is sick.
Yeah. Asheville Music Hall, I haven't been there since COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get back to a lot of those. I used to hang out at the Southern, which is also gone. All the good bars are gone.
Yeah.
Except for Asheville Music Hall.
Yeah. Asheville Music Hall is still there. They're still there. They're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
They still do stuff at the One Stop as well too. Which
Okay.
Shabudica's played there a couple of times.
Is there still the Funk Jam on Tuesdays?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Funk Jam is pretty tight. I don't normally go to that one because it runs so late. Like they start at like 11.
Right. Yeah.
And then it runs like super late.
That's why I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I've been waking up at 5:30 and killing it in the morning, but I can't do that if I go out at 11.
No.
I used to go out after these to the country western night at the Double Crown. Have you been to that?
That sounds so sick. No.
It's awesome. There's like slide guitar and like sort of older dudes with like their bass up to here, just like puttering away and like
sick.
sultry singing. Yeah, people swing dancing. The dance floor is like bumping.
Yo,
there's
that's
like
awesome.
a line. It's great.
That's tight.
It's hard to avoid. I'm talking myself into going right now, but
that sounds so cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool vibe, and it's like country. It's like sort of quiet. Like you know, I usually wear the earplugs when there's a show, but it's like sort of not overwhelming.
Yeah,
everybody's just sort of puttering along.
Yeah, for sure. Nice.
But yeah, where were we? So you've got your funk band and your metal band.
Yes.
What's the last show that you played?
Last gig that I played, I'm trying to think. What's today?
Please don't tell me it was at the Boone Saloon.
No, it was not at the Boone Saloon. It was for Friday night. I played at the auditorium with the metal band. With like a stacked bill. There were a bunch of like really other sick metal bands from in the area. Regions from Charlotte was there. Dark Hand, which is another band from Asheville. Who those dudes are like so cool. Like those guys have like we've only played like one or two other shows with them. Those guys are like our homies now. Like they're so rad.
You had mentioned that you had played a show at the auditorium. You invited me to one on May 4th. But I didn't know what your band was, and again, I was trying to make a flyer, and I was like,
so like
rushing and stuff. So I looked through the whole bill, and I like Googled each to try to find pictures, but I didn't land on yours. But all of the other bands, I guess, like face tattoos, like everybody had like complete. We're just inked. And pure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. So let's see. Regions from Charlotte was there. Dark Hand from Asheville was there. The Odd Squad. I can't remember where they said they were from. And then Violent End was the other band that was there. And like I said, all those dudes were like super nice. And they all rip. So good.
That's
we
cool.
fit right in at the auditorium. We love playing at the auditorium. It's like one of our favorite venues in town to play for sure.
I love that place. I was at the grand opening.
Oh, that's so sick. That's really cool. Nice. Very cool. So that was on Friday. And then Saturday, I played a gig with Shabudica in Brevard at 185 King Street.
Okay,
which
that's
is
where I'm from.
Cool. Yeah, it's a fun little venue down there. It's really cool.
Yeah. I wasn't born in 185 King Street.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gotcha. I was about to say, from 185 King Street specifically.
Yeah.
It was actually really cool. We played with this group called Strange Orchard, who's from Greenville, South Carolina. I don't know if they're ever gonna see this, but if they do, you guys like crushed it. It was like, dude, I'm not even kidding. These kids were. Vocalist and piano player was like 15. The guitarist was 17.
Okay.
Drum set player was a like either just about to or had just turned 18, and they had a fill-in bassist, like the guitar player's dad or something like, or the keyboard player's dad. And he was awesome too. But oh my God, those kids were absolutely unreal as how good they were. They were so sick.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess they've had 2 years like gent, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it was like already just an online genre, and then everybody's stuck in their house.
Yeah, for sure. Well, these kids, so like these kids opened for Shabutica on Saturday. So they were like I think their sound check song was like Benny and the Jets or something like that, and they did it justice. Like it's like really hard to like do Elton John and do it well, especially if you're playing like a full band. No, dude, they were so sick. They were so good.
Green Orchard.
Strange Orchard.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Strange Orchard. Did I say Green Orchard?
No,
I think I said Strange Orchard, but I
thought green because
I don't know. Anyway,
inexperienced.
But yeah, no, dude, those guys were really cool. Yeah, and super good. So yeah, they got a bright future ahead of them for sure as far as music is concerned.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's always nice.
And it's always like super encouraging to see too, because I'm just like, dang, like these kids are like definitely like way better than I was at their age, and they're just like very clearly are just, like, dude, they made money like playing like 4 people like in a venue, you know what I'm saying, as teenagers, nuts. And that's like definitely not anything I ever did, because like I grew up in like I didn't start like gigging until I got to college, because like I grew up in like a super rural suburb of Birmingham, and so they're like the only gigs I had was like going to play like church music, church band music, you know what I'm saying, and that's not a gig, you're not getting paid, you know what I'm saying, and music's not exactly very hard either, so yeah, so like, nor very interesting, but that's neither here. Neither here nor there.
I know. It'd be cool if those worship bands. I wonder if any do. I'm not very well versed in the genre, but like those old hymns with all the counterpoint and stuff is super cool, and those songs are so tricky to maybe just like, I don't know, throw a beat behind it, some thick bass, and get like some of that going.
So, I'm sure. I feel like that would be cool. I'm sure Catholic masses would just love that.
Have you watched the Righteous Gemstones? Some of those are gigantic performances.
Nice.
It's this HBO parody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of like megachurch culture.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
With the Eastbound and Down guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But this is not a film podcast.
Yeah. I can talk about show recommendations for sure, but we will not dive into that.
Yeah, I didn't start gigging that much until after college either. I guess I was like pretty focused on just having fun in college and you know, doing my double major. And then when I started teaching at Asheville Music School, I think people called there to get like wedding guitarists like on a discount. Like, I guess sort of misunderstanding what the setup of the school was, thinking it was like a conservatory.
Oh, gotcha.
Or maybe just looking for teachers, but I would take a lot of those gigs, and that's sort of how I got into the wedding thing.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I've played a handful of wedding gigs. They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're different for a drum set player that like plays in a live band, you know what I'm saying? I can't roll up and like play a cocktail hour, you know. But
I was going to mention that with the COVID thing, like you could get a sub if it was just some random jazz gig, but when you're in this band and you guys are practicing all the time, tell me about that. What's your practice schedule like with each band?
So Shabutica is like kind of starting to slow down a little bit. We've got a gig this upcoming Friday at One World Brewing West, and it'll be not our last show like ever, but like we're taking like a little bit of a step back and a bit of a break to like kind of let some of our members like focus on a little bit more personal stuff. And then we're gonna also start writing for our next record already, because like you know, we enjoy playing the stuff that's off of both of those records that we have, but we're just like, we have all said that we kind of wanted, because like last time the second record, the most recent one that we put out, was pretty much a lot of the creative effort of the keyboardist / vocalist, and so we kind of said that for this next record, we wanted it to be a little bit more collaborative. Not that it wasn't like collaborative with the first time, but like Nate, his name is Nate, set out like all of these like the song structures and like wrote all of the like heads, if you will, and kind of put together like the most basic foundations for everything, and then like he would bring them to the group, and he would say, okay, I've got this song, like what do you think about this, that, and the other, and then we would kind of like workshop it from there. But we've said,
what was that schedule like when you guys were really
okay, gotcha, sure, yeah. Honestly, it was kind of cool because like all of those dudes are like really unbelievable musicians, so like we didn't really have to do a whole lot of rehearsing, like maybe twice a week. Like during the writing period, like probably twice a week or so, but like when like in between like gigs, like as of late, like we'll like put together a practice like before a gig, you know what I'm saying? But you know, because like I said, all those dudes are like super competent, really good musicians that like even if we haven't played together for like 3 months, we would just like, if we had to show up to a gig with a set list, it would be fine, you know. And then Iron Sights, as of late, we've just recorded our first EP, which is 6 songs, I think. And
6 songs?
6. 6 songs. Correct, exactly. Okay, there it is. But we recorded that a couple of months ago, and I think it's in mastering now. But that was kind of the same situation where it was like the creative, like sort of effort of the guitarist, and the rest of us just kind of took what, and he like did everything. So like he wrote the guitar like riffs, he programmed the drums and everything, like parts for me to learn. He said like I have like creative license obviously, but like he was like, I would love for this kind of structure to kind of like sound like this. And then so we practice once a week right now, because like that's actually, we're gigging a lot right now. I actually like went through my calendar this, like in the month of June, I think I have like, between the two bands, I think I have like 14 gigs or something like that, 15 gigs. So nice. which is awesome. That's like I'm really excited about it. So because like I said, like during like the slower like kind of winter months and like with COVID and everything, like it kind of like slowed down, but now I'm like really like kind of getting back into it and like feeling like pretty busy again. So
that's huge.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm excited.
Happy.
Yeah, I'm really stoked about it. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's yeah, I am. That's why I sort of set up this live stream as an excuse to get to know people and network,
sure, totally.
You know, and to check out groups. You said Shabutika's playing Saturday, right?
Friday.
That was a close one.
I'm gonna make sure.
Okay.
Because I'm the type of person that if it's not in my calendar, it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Yes, this upcoming Friday, June the 10th, at One World Brewing West.
Nice. What time to show up?
6 to 9, I believe.
Okay, that's
and
manageable.
I don't know if we're gonna have an opener or not. But if we do, cool. If we don't, that's 2 1 hour and 15-minute sets with the break in between.
With a fat 30-minute break.
Yeah, fat 30-minute break. Yeah, we used to do the 3 1-hour sets. With like a short break in between, and we were like, nah.
Yeah. It's a lot. Like so, I did that playing my classical stuff at a rehearsal dinner on Saturday. Yeah. And when people come up after to like talk to me and compliment me, I'm just like, they're seeing stars.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's your words.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, good to know.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I love those threads from and those new connections from doing this.
Totally.
But also, I love I'm trying to open up that space in my life to jam, because it's been
for sure
grindy. My practice is just by myself all the time.
Sure,
you know, just doing my thing, and but I'm working on an album too, like with writing out all the various parts and programming it all in and stuff like that.
Totally,
I'm excited about that. 8 songs into like a 15 project. Yeah, I'll show
I
you
can't do that kind of stuff. It's actually really funny. So like, I did a lot of like session work, like recording session work when I was in graduate school, because like, I personally think all of the music that I write kind of sucks. So like I really, but it works out that way, works out like to my advantage, because like I really love playing like other people's music. And like helping like lend my own like collaborative sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, je ne sais quoi. Like putting my own like sort of like spin on like what they have already put together. So like it's more fun for me to like put together, like make something together with someone than for me to like try and make my own thing. As far as like writing like songs goes, like that's not to say I haven't done it, because like on the next Boudica record we definitely like kind of want to do it a little bit more collaborative effort like type of thing, like I was saying. But I've like put together like a start to finish drum part, and so like after like once I like make sure that that it all makes sense like in my head, like structure wise, like I'm gonna take it to everybody and say, here's this, you put chords over it, you put changes over it, etc., just because like,
oh nice, like as a recording and a chart.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't have like a chart like per se as far as like what the chords would be or anything, or like what a lead sheet would be.
Time signature.
Yeah. That kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So it's just like, kind of like big band charts, like a big band chart, like type of thing where you would catch like certain specific like rhythmic hits, like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. That's
14 gigs in June.
It's gonna be a lot.
That's a lot of gigs.
Well, I played 2 last weekend, like Friday and Saturday. And then I've got a couple of other rehearsals with a few people that I've never played with before, that I've got, like I'm doing like one-in, like sit-in gigs, like type of thing.
Like jazz stuff, or
it's a little bit of both. Like it's a little bit of everything. So like, for instance, I don't know if you know him. He was when I first moved to Asheville in 2018, there was a jam at a bar that no longer exists, called Treutel, downtown, which is now the Asheville Beauty Academy, I think is what they call it. But there was a Monday night, I think there was a Monday night blues jam that was there. And the keyboardist that was there, his name is Brad Kurdioff. I don't know if you know him or not.
No.
Super nice cat, very good keyboard player. I played like a Christmas like gig with him, like a Gigmas type thing. But he has a band that, I'm so sorry the name is escaping me right now, but he has a band that they're putting out a record in like in a couple of months, or a couple of weeks actually, and they're doing like an album release show. At Highlands Brewing on July the 3rd. So like we've got a couple of like rehearsals like on that. So like it's a 3-setter, covers the EP covers. So which is going to be super fun for me, because like that's a lot of music to learn, and I like thrive like under that kind of pressure, like where I've got to learn a whole bunch of stuff at like in a very short amount of time. So
yeah, that's a lot of time.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. So yeah. But yes, it is a lot of there is a lot of practice time involved with it. Yeah.
What do you have a daily routine? Like, do you try to get to it in the morning, first thing, or?
So like as far as like the way that I practice goes, like it kind of depends on what's on the docket like coming up for like my stuff. So like for instance, like when I was like coming out of like after I got sick, like the next thing that I had after I was like ready to be back out and ready to be gigging again was playing the Ironsides material. And at that point I basically hadn't played drums for 2 weeks, and that's all like really heavy intensity like stuff. And so I was like, when I was like getting back into it, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel like when I get out there and play that, because like I said, like I mean it's only a 20-minute set, but like it's like every bit of energy you have for like 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And so
yeah, you can't fake that.
No, not at all. And so like and so just like wanted to make sure that like I had all of that kind of stuff like squared away. So like I played through that set like a couple of times, like back to back to back. And if I don't have anything like super like pressing like on the docket as far as like gigs that I have coming up, or like songs that I need to learn, I'll usually do a lot of like jazz independence work, which is just like keeping a ride pattern with a hi-hat, like, you know, the bing, 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 that kind of thing, while like kind of comping a bunch of other different ideas underneath it. And then I also do like a lot of like just general practice pad work to keep like my chops up and running. Yeah. So as far as like a daily routine goes, not really. Some people, like some purists would be like, oh, you'll never get better that way. And I'm just like, that's fine, because like, yeah, I mean, like my whole practice philosophy is more about like practicing what feels pertinent and what I feel like I need to be working on right that minute. And if I don't have anything like specific that I'm like trying to like polish or like prepare for, then usually what it comes down to is like, at the expense of sounding arrogant, I have a pretty good grasp on like rudimentary like technique and like that kind of stuff. More of what I'm working on right now in my own free time is just like getting more comfortable with like more complex and advanced like linear phrasing and just phrasing in general to make like all of these idea like soup just kind of like flow together better, if that makes sense.
I think so. Grouping dynamics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Because you know, everybody that's been playing drums as long as I have knows how to play, just for like a really basic example, everybody knows how to play paradiddles. Fine, cool, whatever. How do you take paradiddles and turn them into something, A, that's interesting, and B, that you can get into and out of that idea in a fluid sort of sense?
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So like
the paradiddle, are you talking about volume? Like hitting the paradiddle softer and getting it to swell?
So I'm talking about like softer? I'm talking about incorporating a paradiddle into the middle of a phrase and being able to like get into that and out of that in a way that makes sense, but is also like new and fresh and interesting. So
well, you can show me here.
Yeah, I'll explain it like here in a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. I agree that you gotta practice stuff that's gonna keep you interested.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that'll make you play
for sure.
more.
Because like I definitely like know that like in my time like gigging throughout both of my degrees, I met people that were like very, very intrinsically good at their instrument, but because they were gigging so much, they didn't really, in my conversations with them, they were just like, oh, no, I don't really practice that much. And like, I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. Like, if that's like, if you're gigging so much that you don't want to practice, that's great. That's all fine and well and good. But like, it never really showed to me that there was like much improvement. And that's something for me that I think is like really cool about like music in general, is that like there is like this tangible measure of like quote unquote success or like achievement, because like for instance, like if there's a pattern or a scale that you're working on or something that feels difficult that you can't play this week, and you keep working on it and you shed it, and then next week you can't play it, like that's a tangible like time, like there's a tangible like I couldn't do it and now I can, like
sort of an objective scale.
Yeah, exactly,
success.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
That is really exciting. I have had to like sort of reassess not just like a daily routine or like a weekly or a monthly, you know, on every level. Sure. I think there's some like when everything slows down in the winter,
yeah, totally,
it can be a really good opportunity to sort of like regroup,
rehash like fundamentals and stuff like that. And that's not to say that, and again, like that's not to say that like the way that I do things like works for somebody else, or the way that like somebody else's like practice routine with like 4 tricks to make your hands faster or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or like four things that you must practice every day. Like that's BS to me, you know what I'm saying? Because like I don't really think that like what I need to be working on right now has anything that pertains to hand speed, you know what I'm saying? For me, it's all about like right now it's more about phrasing and like and being like able to be creative, you know what I'm saying? And like wanting to expand my vocabulary, as it were. And so like, you know, there's definitely a time and a place for that kind of stuff, and that might be kind of a hot take for some, but I think that's kind of where my head is at as far as like my practice routine goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the longer you play, you get more pragmatic about it too. It's like, what do I need to do right now?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Like, what's going to suit me more?
Yeah.
I'm like slimming down my classical guitar a little bit to be able to work on my album, because I'm like, oh god, I need this.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Something.
Totally.
Not that the classical guitar music isn't like really thrilling on some level,
yeah,
but
for sure.
Once I am out there playing it like every weekend, I'm
yeah,
like, okay,
totally.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, for sure, exactly. Yeah. And so that's why like, you know, with like some of the different things that I'm working on right now, like I can like if I'm just like if I need to rehash like something, like I'll go and I'll play it. But most of the time, like as of right now, it's mostly just playing music that I'm like really familiar with and have played a lot before, but trying to find different ways to like give myself like kind of what I call like creative parameters, where like, okay, so if for instance, it'll be better to, I actually, you know what, I'm gonna save this for later because I can better demonstrate it like over there, like sitting behind the kit. So
okay, gotcha.
We'll talk about that in a second.
I think over here you'll be able to talk, but I won't be able to talk.
That's
because, fine. Okay.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll wave.
No, we're good. Yeah, no, we're good. Just like that's like, so like a creative parameter is like something that I set for myself, like whenever I'm playing along to a song that I'm familiar with or working on like a particular like new thing, where you only allow yourself to change a specific part of what you're what you're examining. So like for instance, like I'm only allowing myself to play eighth notes on the hi-hat, and then the last beat 4 you can swap to like triplets or 16th notes, but then you have to like keep that framework. If that makes sense. So,
it absolutely does. I love stuff like that, and I love making it like a completist sort of exercise.
Sure. Yeah.
Where, like beat 4 is triplets, and you do that 10 times, and now beat 3 is the triplets.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Sort of rhythmic modulation.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff is like really neat for me because like it's a way that you can like, it doesn't feel like quite so like mundane and inundating, because like it's still like very mentally engaging up here, but also like you're still like forcing yourself to like step outside of like your comfort zone, but in a way that is controlled, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It is. Yeah, because you have to, it's like juggling.
Yeah,
sort of. You can't juggle too many things because then you're not juggling, right? You drop it. You have to be. And I don't know how to juggle, actually. So
I also don't know how to juggle. I cannot juggle.
But I would imagine that it would be more fun to juggle. Like, okay, I can do 3. Like, now I'm gonna try 4.
Yeah.
Like, to be right on that edge all the time is the interesting thing about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I tell my students that like the more that you're sort of like you're furrowed, like that's when you're learning stuff. Like, really pushing that edge.
Totally.
Yeah. If you just do stuff that you know all the time. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's no good.
Because like it's
some of the
it's boring for your listeners, but it's also like boring for you as a player. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, some metal bands I think tend to get into that. Whoop.
Hello.
Hello. I forgot to silence that again.
That's okay.
Season 1. This is the entryway into getting a more professional setup.
No worries.
What was I? Thank you for
metal bands.
forgiving me.
That's okay.
And all of my flaws.
It's all right. Metal bands like.
Just so shreddy. Some players, I guess not just metal, but I'll go to a show and I'll watch them and I'll be like really enthralled and like just jaw dropped for like 5 minutes. But then as the show goes on, I think to myself about like, oh, this dude just sits in his home and does nothing but practice.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well. Okay.
Totally. Yeah. I definitely think there are like a couple of different things about like metal music in particular that like really appeal to me. So all of my friends that know me really well know the band that I'm about to talk about. But I have this particular band that I like listen to like almost all the time. I don't know what it is, but it's just like something about their music that just like appeals to me about the genre that I just cannot stop listening to them. Okay. And so they're just like very rhythmically intelligent, and the frequency range that they tune like their guitars to, it's just like, it just sounds aggressive and mean, and I love it so much. But yeah.
Who is it?
It's a Swedish band called Meshuggah.
Love Meshuggah.
Dude, yes, so much. Hell yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, exactly.
That song's in 64, right?
I don't know specifically.
I think it's a grouping of 64 beats.
It's nuts.
It comes back around.
It's crazy.
Their stuff is so insane.
I love their music for that reason, because like it's so, as a drum set player, it's rhythmically really interesting, because like being able to like pick out some of those different patterns and like learn how all of those permutations like work together, while also still generally, usually, almost always having like a 4/4 like backbeat behind it, is so freaking cool to me. You know what I'm saying? And so And
that's
also
an epic choice.
Yeah.
I knew the band that you
absolutely,
were gonna say.
dude. Yeah. And
so
those,
good.
yeah, it's crazy good. I went and saw them in. I have tickets to see them again.
And they're still going?
Yes.
Oh, I would
dude,
see them. Where are you going?
In Atlanta.
Oh, I would
in
do
October.
That.
Have
Okay.
you listened to the new record? They put out a new album like a little bit over a month ago.
Ooh, man.
Mind-boggling.
I know what I'm waking up to tomorrow.
Absolutely, dude. 100%.
Because I have programmed my house with Google to turn on the lights and blast music at 5:30 in the
Whoa,
morning.
that's so sick.
And tomorrow it's going to be Meshuggah.
Nice.
And just wake up
with the new record.
It's just
so good.
I will not go
so
back to sleep.
Good.
Okay,
so
great.
Good. It's been on repeat for the past couple of weeks. Yeah, so
nice.
All of my friends are like, oh, this guy's talking about this freaking band again.
I'm excited about it. They're so good.
No, they are very, very good. But yeah, no, I went and saw them in, I think it was like May of 2019 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Life-altering, dude. It was so much fun.
That's cool.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had some metal kick like a couple of years ago. I was like, man, I never listened to metal. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I was in a Lamb of God cover band when I was in high school.
That's so funny. My roommate's partner, their dad is like best friends with like Randy Blythe.
Oh man,
which is really funny.
Weird at this point, right? Did they like murder somebody?
It's pretty weird. Evidently, they don't love to talk about it.
I know. I felt immediately apprehensive. Like, I don't know.
That's so funny.
But they did put out a new Burn the Priest album not too long, like 4 or 5 years ago, or like 3 or 4 years ago.
I'm not hip to
just
them.
like their original band before Lamb of God.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that.
That's pretty good, but their newer Lamb of God stuff's not good.
Yeah.
But I used to love metal, and I was really in it. System of a Down was like my main jam. Other metal bands that I love, Between the Buried and Me.
Oh,
is
North Carolina
fantastic.
natives. They're from Winston-Salem. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. Like as far as like when I got into metal, like how I got into metal was funny because like I was probably in like middle school and like, or not middle school, like early junior high or something like that. And was like starting to like listen to like, I had a friend of mine that we went to school together that like he showed me like a couple of like different random songs from like other like bands that were like a little bit more on the like side of like rock music that I don't think like listening to it nowadays I would call it metal necessarily. It's just like heavy rock, so like
Queens of the Stone Age.
Well, no, like more like along the lines of like Chevelle, like or
Marilyn
like
Manson.
or like Breaking Benjamin and like that kind of stuff. Which I guess like you could call it metal, I suppose. It depends on who you ask.
Like light metal.
Yeah. It depends on who you. Yeah, it depends on who you ask. So like Chevelle, like their second record, Wonder What's Next. That's like one of the like really like best, like probably like I don't even know what I would call it, alternative metal. Who knows?
Post grunge.
Like, post grunge. Like like of the early 2000s. That was really great. I was super into Alter Bridge for a little while there, which is like also like hard rock.
What about like Stone Sour, the new Slipknot album?
Slipknot's okay. Slipknot's it's all right. I was really into Slipknot for a couple of years there in high school when I was like, oh, I want to play drums fast. You know what I'm saying? Because like Joey Jordison was like probably like of that whole scene like of stuff that I was like readily accessible to me. Like before I like really took a deep dive. That was like some of the stuff that I was like I really liked Slipknot for a while there.
Their last album, because they've got like 10 dudes in the band or whatever, so they've got all the synth stuff happening now, and the production level is super high because they're like really famous and rich.
I'm trying to remember what the is it We Are Not Your Kind? Is that what it's called? Is that the most recent one?
I don't know.
Okay, gotcha. I think that's what if I remember correctly, that's what it's called. And I listened through it once, and I was like, "Cool, that was good," you know. And I haven't really like revisited it again, but and ever since like it just like once I started there and just kind of like branched out from there, like I just like found it was actually really funny when I remember specifically when I was in like 10th grade. I found the music video for that really famous Meshuggah song "Bleed," and I was just like, I don't like this. This is like weird. I don't get this because like the guitar tone is like it's very punchy for that song because obviously like the whole rhythm is like, you know what I'm saying, and like in order for that to be like articulate on a guitar, like it has to be very 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 like noise gated and very like tight as far as like the distortion goes.
Yeah, the lush harmony is not really the point.
Yeah, exactly. And so like at first I was just like, I don't know, I don't really like this. But then like I went through like this big metalcore phase where I was like really into like Of Mice and Men and Motionless in White and The Word Alive and like stuff like that. And as like that's like kind of where like I started and like started to kind of branch out a little bit more. And got really into like into death metal there for a while. Like Cannibal Corpse, obviously, is a big name. Sepultura, yep. It's how I've heard it pronounced.
Pardon
anyway.
me,
I don't know.
I'm probably wrong.
Dude, their new drum set player, he's this guy from Brazil. His name was Eloy Casagrande. Unbelievable. Like probably one of the best drum set players like in the world right now, straight up.
Oh damn.
Best metal drum set players in the world right now, for sure.
Not Ministry. There's this other band that I loved, and it sounded like if you were descending into hell. Like it was what was playing. It was just noise. I'll try to think about it.
Yeah.
Can I get a time check?
Yeah,
all
it
of
is
my
like
clocks are
slightly at 9 o'clock. My watch
slightly
at 9 o'clock, and my watch is a little fast. So and no, it is 9 o'clock currently.
Well, do you have any last minute thoughts? Any dangling threads that we
not
did
really?
Not
We've kind of wrapped it up really nicely. I could talk about like offshoots of like all of these different kind of like bands that I'm like really into for like hours.
We have entered that space of like
yeah.
I like that band.
Yeah, nope.
All right, so let's see what sort of metal and other stuff we can generate. But
Perfect.
in the meantime, I'm going to pause this. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back with some tunes. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's been super fun.
All right, the fun part's about to begin.
The fun part is really about to start. Sick.
love making.
Give the camera the eyes.
I love making dumb faces when I play. I gotta adjust this just a little bit.
Is my guitar like screeching in your
No. Sounds
nothing, if nothing, play some blast beats.
Ooh, yeah.
Could always play some blast beats. I'm not actually very good at those.
That sounded fine.
For like half of a second, sure.
Let's double check this. So I'm gonna just make sure.
Turn up just a tiny bit.
Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna turn your kick drum up just a little bit.
Okay. That might be my fault because I was like, turn down the gain.
I think I turned it down even more after we talked about that because I saw it like spiking a little bit.
Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. we're getting warmed up. Go back to some harder. Cool.
like that.
I like that too. That's a thrill to play.
That's that kind of that fun kind of stuff. No, so some of that like creative parameter stuff that I was talking about a minute ago, just real briefly because I was like thinking about like some of that kind of stuff like when I was playing in there. So what I mean by that is like generally speaking, you take this one sort of idea and you kind of flesh it out. So like for instance, like if we're just taking like a real basic. Sorry, did I mess something up?
Oh no, this isn't even recording.
Oh, okay.
So I'm getting it out of your way.
Oh, okay, cool. So you take something, like I said, like just something real basic. And then you change that in a very specified way. So, for instance, I'm going to play the first time I'm going to play it 2 times through, and then I'll play it 2 times through again, but without any ghost notes. So. So I'll do the same thing, but this time, the first time I'll play it through just like normal, like I would normally. Second time, I'll play it with dotted 8th note accents on the right hand or something. So on and so forth. So you can do that in a bunch of different ways that like where you use those different ideas. So like if I'm talking about like that's just like a really basic idea, but if like you take that and you apply it like even further to like a bunch of different concepts. So like for instance, like we were talking about earlier, paradiddles. So play paradiddles the first time only in the snare drum and a 16th notes. Second time play paradiddles all around the drums but only in 16th notes. Third time, play paradiddles, but break it up with the feet. And then the last time, play paradiddles, but play them as triplets. So that's just like really basic. So we've got 4 different things that we can do with it. Was play them as triplets. So, and that's another really fun thing to do because now we've taken this idea where we can do a 4-note grouping pattern, but play it in subdivisions of 3. So, like if that's the tempo, and we're thinking paradiddles, we just play them as triplets or 16th note triplets, but still. So 2 beats of 16th notes and 2 beats of 16th note triplets. Etc. etc.
Yeah.
So you can take that whole idea and apply it all over the place. So like another really fun one to do is like groupings of right or kick right left. So play that as triplets. And now we'll play it as 16th notes. And you can, like I said, you can take all of those ideas and permutate them and like go absolutely nuts with them. So that's like kind of one thing that you were talking about earlier is like taking all of these different things and like putting them on a grid. So like another fun thing that you can do, just this is like one big thing that I took away from like all of my like rudimental stuff, is this concept called gridding, which is where you have a specified hand pattern and then you have like you move an accent or you move a specific thing around in it. So for instance, like if we were gonna do here, I'll do this with a pad just so I don't crush your ears.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I kept the headphones.
So something that you can do with like let's take triplets for instance. So that's the pulse, right? So what we can do is we can take those triplets and we can move where the accent is. So we can put it for 4 beats on the first partial, 4 beats on the second partial, 4 beats on the third partial. So. And so like now you can take all of these different accent patterns that you have and get all of these different. So like one really popular one was where you would do what's called 4-2-1, which is where, 4 beats of accents on the first partial, second, third, 2 beats of accents on each, and then 1 beat of accents on each. So the whole thing. Et cetera, et cetera. I screwed up the last bit, but and then so you can take that even and go even another depth, like another level further with that, where you move the accents, but you have a double on the first partial. So. That's really hard to do with the foot, but anyway. So like you can take the possibilities of like permutations and all that kind of stuff is like endless. So like I have this one particular pattern that I find myself like always coming back to, which is so right, left, kick. And another way that you can,
I like that one.
Yeah. Because it's really easy to like split up. Et cetera, et cetera. It just flows really well. So one thing that I try to make myself do is I try to limit myself to if I'm playing like any sort of like extended fill like in a bar or something like that. So I'll try and throw something in there to break it up in such a way that it's not just the same thing over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Because that would like get like super monotonous. So like if you just, you know, it's really cool if you're doing just like a. But if you're just like. It just kind of loses its flavor, you know what I'm saying? And so like a way that I have found that's like really fun to break it up is if you do. So like it's just you're using the same concepts, you're just breaking it up even a little bit further. So the original grouping is right, left, kick, and then on the end of the phrase you've got that same thing, right, left, kick, but you're just playing that again. So if you can take it and use it as with concepts that you already know and that you already feel comfortable with, it just like allows you to like find all of these different like combinations and permutations that make things like sound a little bit more interesting. So like I'll show you
chaining them together.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll show you one last one that makes a lot of sense in my head, and then we can probably play for another 5 minutes and then wrap it up. Or if you just want to finish her a little early. So another one that's like really fun is to do. So if it's right, left, or kick, right, left. So they call it the bottom triplet because John Bonham like kind of made it like a big thing. That's all cool, but what about? So that's. So that's a concept that we're already familiar with, but we're just incorporating one little different thing in there. Conversely, if we do also another thing that you do in there is you take that same pattern and you just add one extra variable or one extra note in there. So for instance, over here, if we're putting the first note on the hi-hat, put an extra double on the right hand. So
that one's like kind of a reduction. So it's foot, right, right, left, left, foot, right, left, left, and then just foot, right, left. So like it's basically, like I said, it's just a reduction of what we've playing. So you've got 5 notes and 4 notes and then 3 notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that can you can apply that.
It's
you
immediately interesting.
Yeah, because you can have voicing anywhere. And the other thing is that like if you want to throw that in at the end of a bar, that's the other thing that's really cool about this is that the applications for them are endless. So like. If you heard that at the end of a bar, you would be like, oh, that was kind of cool. Like, you might not even necessarily pay attention to it. But conversely, I don't know if I can do it with the right foot. I'm going to try it on the fly. That's like very clearly like the very end of a phrase, you know what I'm saying? That's like something that can be used like as a really big punctuation, whereas this... Same thing. If you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't even hear it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Versus that other thing that you just... I've not changed anything except for the voices that are coming out. The pattern is the exact same, but it makes it feel completely different. So that's like kind of what I was talking about earlier, was so far as like the different like kind of creative parameters that you can have as far as like that you can set for yourself. In that you have a lot more to work with than you think that you do. It's just a matter of getting it to come out the right way and come out in a way that's musical and intelligible, which is, as you can probably hear and see, is something that I still work on a lot. And so that's like kind of where a lot of my like to answer your original question from about an hour ago is where I spend a lot of my time practicing, is like working on stuff like that and working on little weird like little patterns and things like that. So like generally speaking, like with the first thing that I'll do when I sit down at the kid is just like I'll just like try and make like a string of things with stickings and concepts that I'm already familiar with, and then trying to put little extra little blips in there that might not feel so familiar. So like I said, that one's really familiar. I'll just play it all right here, just make it simple. And like coming, if you're ever like get kind of like, oh, I don't really know, come back to that one thing that you're familiar with. etc. So like that's like the first thing I'll do like when I sit down to play, regardless of like what I'm actually practicing or working on. It's like that the first thing I'll do is I'll like just get into it like a flow. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
let's do one more. Let me set up something super simple on the synth, and I want you to just do a ton of those permutations.
Totally, yeah, absolutely.
I'm over here juggling tones and volume level and like trying to worry about.
No, you're good. No worries.
Hope I got one cool thing out. We'll see after.
Oh, you got it.
How about even easier? again so much for being on.
Thank you so much for having me. I think they can hear you. You're getting some levels over there.
Thanks, everybody!
Cool.
Yeah, it was a real pleasure, dude.
Yes, thank you so much. Likewise. All right. Oh!
Oh, yeah, watch it.
Bonked my head.